Whoa, I think I was muted. Hey, everybody.
I think we were both muted.
Thank you for joining Let's Talk and Life Uncensored with lovely Elaine and Mommy Missy. Today, we are actually going to embark on a journey talking about relationships. Since it's getting closer to Valentine's Day and everything is getting kind of hot and spicy, and we touched base on your love lives in sexual ways, we're going to touch base on your love lives and mental, emotional, and other ways as well. Okay, so just join in. Make sure you chime in as much as possible today as we kind of touch base on relationships, our points of views. If we're wrong, please correct us. But yeah, how are you doing today, Mommy Missy?
I'm doing really good. I just feel like cooped up. I'm ready to get outside and get done with the cold. It's really bad with the virus, and so like I need to get outside. I really got to get out of this house. Like I got to.
Did you get outside at all today?
No, I did not. I was doing school with the kids all day.
Oh, wow. Well, I know tomorrow it's supposed to be kind of nice in the Racine area just during the daytime. After that, we have like a winter storm warning throughout all through Friday. So, um, yeah, just kind of touch base on that. Definitely get outside and get your vitamin D
Right. And if
and your
any of my
vitamin D.
neighbors are watching and they see my kids on my front porch, don't worry. We're just having a fire drill. I promise I didn't lock them out.
Are you planning a fire drill tomorrow?
Yeah, we do them in our house. We do tornado drills. We do fire drill. The first time I did it, I'm not going to say it was the funniest thing ever because I screamed, "Fire!" And one child ran up the stairs. Oh, my camera just okay. One kid ran up the stairs to grab the cat, and the other one went to the basement to grab the other cat, and the other one's
Oh
trying
my
to pull
God.
the dog out. I'm like, well, my animals are going to make it. Don't know if the kids
Yeah.
are going to be there.
Oh God, that's kids though. Kids will always go for, the things that, well, I guess animals are precious. You can't say that they're not. I had a hard time. I was actually in a house fire as a kid, but we'll touch base on that another day. Um, so joining in on this like relationship talk, are you like ready to like really dive in and either make people love us or hate us today?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Are
Just a little
you?
nervous. Yeah.
Don't be
I mean,
nervous. We've got this.
you know,
We've got
yeah.
this. So I kind of want to jump in and I wanted to ask you, just for fun right now in the beginning of this, who are a couple celebrity like couples that you kind of admire?
I don't think I have any like couples that I admire because I think they're crazy. All of them.
I mean, they are, truth be
But I
told,
think
they are.
I think Tom Hanks and his wife,
Yeah, they
like
are a good couple. They're a good
they've been
couple. They've
together
been married for
forever.
like a long time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Okay.
think if you can make it in like Hollywood that long.
So I do think that there's like a difference between like regular relationships and Hollywood relationships because they have so much limelight on them. I feel like it's harder for them to stay together longer.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
agree with that. Like 100% agree. Um, one of mine is Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union. Oh my
Okay.
God. I don't know. Okay, so I need everyone after this show, if you haven't already, go and Google their freaking wedding vows to each other. Like I sobbed the entire time. The wedding vows were awesome. They even made sure to put in their wedding vows that they would never watch TV shows, like certain TV shows without each other when they knew that like that was their TV show. Like that, yeah. And like that was like the camel that broke or the straw that broke the camel's back, however you say it, that I just like started crying like a lot. Because I was like, don't watch shows without me either. I'm over here crying like a
I
dog.
would fail. I would fail because well, I have too many kids. So like when I
Okay.
get a moment to watch TV by myself, you either jump in or you're on your own. Every man
Okay,
for
but
himself.
what are the rules for your relationship? Like if you started a TV show with Joe and you guys have had this talk
We don't have any
about
rules we don't have any rules anymore.
I feel like there needs to be underlining rules. If you agree with me, you have to chime in seriously because I feel like if you've talked about a TV show that's coming out, right? Like for instance, Snowfall or The Bachelor or like a TV show that like comes on once a week that you guys can like indulge in together. You guys know that you're both off at the same time, like, and you decided to start it together. Do you have to finish it together or do you just finish it alone? Like, are you okay with finishing it alone?
I think at this point, like with like if you got a minute to yourself, you suck it up because you don't know when that's gonna happen again.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's vote on that. If you agree with Missy, then drop a thumbs up. If you agree with me, you can drop what are the other emojis that are on there? There's not a thumbs down.
I
You
don't
can
know.
drop a heart or a smiley
Okay.
face. Actually, you know what? A thumbs up for her and a smiley face for me. I would love to see what your guys' opinions are on that.
Michelle said it felt good today. The sun
The
feels
sun
good
felt
today.
good. Yes, it did. I got out into the sun for just a little bit today. It did. It felt really good outside. It really
You
did.
traitor, Michelle. Thank you,
Oh,
Kelsey. I appreciate that. Um, I
oh
do want to
God.
talk about a story. I just want to see,
Okay.
Michelle, did the snowman fall? She has a snowman her daughter made in her backyard, and it's at like a 25-degree angle at this point.
Is it really?
Yes,
How long
and
ago? I want to know how long ago she made it. How long ago did you make this?
I want to say, is she posted yesterday? I don't
Okay.
know. She's gonna have to comment on here for us to see.
Let's go, Michelle. Let us know.
We're waiting.
And unfortunately, today I'm logged in a different way, so I'm not able to see the comments. So, Missy, if you can just read them off as they come in, I'll just
All
chime
right.
in with you.
We have 2 thumbs up and one heart. So let's see. She
Yeah,
said,
see? Well, I guess you know what? You are bogus. No, okay, so let's kind of chime in a little bit on relationships while we're sitting here waiting for Michelle to kind of let us know how long ago she built her snowman.
she
Um,
okay, she said
what
she
did she
just
say?
posted in. Okay, first off, she said, I agree with we both have family shows we cannot watch with each other, but all about getting in alone time too. I
Yeah,
get
I
it's
feel like that's
important.
really
And
important.
the snowman fell today at 3 and it started at Sunday. So
Aw.
we were all watching it. We
Um,
were stalking it on Facebook.
what's funny is that I just built a snowman today, so I'll keep you guys updated on how long my snowman stays up. I hear we're supposed to get like really strong winds, so hopefully we packed him in real tight and he won't just like fall down. Okay.
If it starts rolling down the street, I want a video of it. We'll have to do a video next week on the show. So if it starts rolling
Okay.
down the street, I want to see that on the show. We got to do
I
that.
do have actual footage of people towing other cars with trucks off of my street just this past week. Like, I don't even know
Oh,
what in the hell it turned into on my street last week, but it was definitely crazy.
next week we'll have to put those videos on the show and just kind of talk about them. And you know what? We'll ad lib to them. We'll make it
Yeah,
real fun.
that's awesome. I put one on my TikTok. I like recorded and put it on TikTok. So jumping back to this relationship stuff. If you are in a relationship, please drop a heart. If you are single, please drop a thumbs up. We would like to know what our view and our audience is. How many of you guys that are single out there watching this? When it comes up to Valentine's Day, when it gets closer to this date, like some people make it a big thing and some people are like, oh, it's just Valentine's Day, it's nothing, right? But as it gets closer, if you're single, do you get depressed? Or if you are in a relationship, do you anticipate what it's going to be like?
How
What
about
is your thoughts?
instead of a heart, you do like a wink if you're single, so that we know. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to keep track. And if you're in a relationship, let's just do the tongue sticking out.
Okay.
So we
Or if
can
you're on
keep.
the live, what can they do if they're on the live? Or can they just do
That's the
it like
same
this?
thing for the live. That's the same with the
Okay.
live. Yeah. Yeah. I do have, okay, so we're talking about relationships and we're talking about, I had a friend and I told her I was going to do it. I really hope um, she's watching. She
Okay.
did it on her Snapchat and she's single. And
Okay.
some guy that she bought, I think that she sold something for foods, like he paid with food stamps.
Okay.
And she goes, if I'm buying food stamps from you, don't try and give me your number. Like, look, I'm not trying to talk to you.
Okay. I mean, I can agree and disagree with that. You might be passing up a man that is awesome though. I'm just saying he might be the man that comes home and maybe he's during a hard time where he's struggling right now. And he might be the one that comes home and brings you flowers every day. He might be the one that comes home and tries to rub your feet, cooks you dinner, helps you take care of the kids, grocery shops with you. You never know. I'm saying like you cannot pass up We're gonna get into that, ladies. We're gonna get into this list thing.
Yeah, I want to know an opinion. I want to kind of get an opinion on that because, nope. Like, talk to me then when you got your shit together, because I don't want to have to.
And I'm the opposite. I am the opposite because I feel like you should be able to build with a man. So let's take a vote on that also. What do you guys think? You can type in build, or you can type in, has to be come with everything. I am just one of those people who I feel like he doesn't have to have it all together for you to get it together with him. He really doesn't. I'm not one of those people that is like, you know what, he has to have everything together. He has to have this, he has to have that. It's more so what are your goals? Where are you going? How consistent are you with things? Are you not a bum, at least? Like if he's completely not working, not trying, just stays at home, chills, sleeps all day, then that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm fine if you're like building yourself up. But if you are not doing anything to make yourself better, then I'm done saving people. I've in my life tried to save way too many people, and I have 5 other people to think about. Well, okay. The oldest one doesn't count because he just got married, but I got 4 other kids to think about. So I can't bring on another kid.
I agree. I agree with that. I do agree with that. He has to be able to hold his own, but he might be in a place of transition is all I'm saying. Don't pass up a man because he's in the place of transition. So let's kind of jump into that. I know that you did a little bit of research prior to the show on relationships. Do you want to kind of touch base on some of the research that you did? So then we can kind of chime in with experience versus research type thing.
Yes. One of the things that I was really kind of shocked on, but I kind of knew was all my information came from Psychology Today.
Okay.
Website. And the theory is, oh wait, hold on. We got a lot of comments over here.
I'm ready for the comments.
Thumbs up from Miss Chris. And
Chris Fabio, thumbs up. Okay, what's up, Ron?
Another one, she's a wink. Yeah, but that doesn't count. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna let you go with that, Chris. We'll talk later about that. You don't have to have staying time after listing mean. Yeah, that one's the one I mean. And then Ron is laughing at us. And then I think he's confused whether he's single or not right now. Oh, he said both? How can you be single and be in a relationship? That is
a good question. I'd like for you to elaborate on that, please.
And then Ron said, say no to PS5 couch potatoes.
Well, yeah. I mean,
hate video games.
First of all, if they're bumming it like that, they probably don't even own a PS5.
That's true. I hate video games. I mean, that's fine if you want to play it, but I'm going to be reading a book and knitting, or I'm going to be knitting and doing something else, listening to music.
I think that a man that plays video games is okay. And the reason I say this is because he can be doing a lot of other things other than playing the video game, right? Like, truth be told, there's always a battle. So girls always battle for like the time. So it's like either their guy goes out too much, or he plays the video game too much, or he hangs out with his guys too much, and we're going to kind of get into that in a little bit, but let's hear about your statistics here.
Okay. So apparently they believe that you learn your affections in a relationship from the point of you being born. Oh, wait, hold on, Ron. I'm saying if they have no job or doing anything with themselves.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but they don't have to be millionaires and completely built and completely like CEOs or established in that sense. They might be in transition, and you might just meet the love of your life while they're in transition.
Maybe. Molly said hi. Molly is from Off the Rails, who has helped us a lot. Okay, so that was the first thing I was kind of shocked that you learn from when you were born with your caregiver mother of how to be affectionate in a relationship.
Okay.
And that if you weren't coddled and weren't I guess it's kind of nurture versus nature. If you weren't nurtured in the beginning, you just don't know how. But now to think about it, I do remember reading something about the orphanages in I think Russia. One of the people went over there and there were all these babies in their crib and none of them were crying. And she said, why aren't they crying? And she goes, they learned within the first week that nobody's going to be coming to pick them up because they don't have enough people to take care of all the babies.
Yeah.
And so they just learn to soothe themselves. So I guess, yeah, that's the way it goes. And it also said that you can, you see, okay,
Bless you.
thank you, that you can overturn that and change your ways by finding someone that you truly care for and getting, and showing that learning that later on, but it's just harder.
Well, let me say this before you go to the next one, since we're going to kind of go statistic versus, I don't know what you want to call it, Elaine's philosophy. I don't know. Every man or woman can bring out a different side in you. You can have dated the same man as 5 other women, and one woman might say he's extremely affectionate. The next woman might say he wasn't affectionate at all. The next woman might say he was the sweetest thing. And I'm saying this from a woman's point of view, but it goes vice versa as well. You can bring out different characteristics in every woman and every man. And if you think about that, you can think about past relationships, maybe your current relationship, maybe things that you did with your exes versus how you act now, and different things that they did to pull that funny side out of you, or to pull that love side out of you, or the romantic side out of you, or the lustful side out of you. So I do feel like maybe affection is somewhat of a learned behavior, but I feel like it just takes the right person to pull the right stuff out of you.
I see. I don't know if I agree with their verdict either, because I know my mom's a very, very affectionate person,
Mm-hmm.
and through my path of relationships, I have a very hard time showing affection.
Wow.
Just because I know, and I'll tell the only, every person, I won't be the first one to say I love you. I won't, and I'll even get mad at you if I think you don't mean it.
So do you initiate hugs first, like in any relationship, or typically not?
Typically not. I do with my kids. My kids is a whole different story.
It's a different kind of love. We can't include kids in any of this, really. It's a whole different kind of love with kids.
But I mean, like, when it comes to my children, I'm very an affectionate person. But when it comes to relationships, I'm just not. It's not
I
that
feel like it's so different, because you always tell me, like, you're always like, Elaine, you're so private, right? But I'm like, I'm the person that will, like, I will come and hug you first. I will wrap my arms, around you, and kiss on your neck and rub your back out of the blue, rub your feet. Like, I'm a very affectionate person. Like, I sound so bad. I'm like putting myself out there right now. But like, I'm like the person who would be like, well, let me just let me rub your feet. Let me do a facial on you. Let me rub your shoulders. So I am very affectionate. Affection is, when I am affectionate, it's not just because like, oh, like I'm in the mood. It's my affection. I can totally not be in the mood and be affectionate. I'm just very affectionate because I'm telling you that I care about you.
Yeah. Rose Garcia says, I feel like everyone has their own love language.
I agree.
I agree. I don't think I have any of them because I've read the book. I don't know if you've read the 5 love languages, but
I actually have.
I don't think I have any of them. Because I don't think that I can.
So I did read the love languages, and I don't know if any of you guys have or not, but of course my number one was probably what you're already guessing now, which is physical touch. Yeah. I could care less about the rest of it. Physical touch is my number one, and it doesn't have to be physical touch in a sexual way. It can just be like a rub across the arm, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything else. You're touchy. My past coworker would warn me that she was coming in for a hug because that's not me. Yeah. I have a friend that doesn't hug, and I still hug her. Or sometimes I'll even tell her, my friend doesn't hug either, one of my friends, and sometimes I'll still tell her, like, oh, I'm not gonna hug you, but thank you. Like
I guess friends are different because I hug my friends. I don't have a problem with that. But if I really, really like you, like I'll be like, bye, bitch.
yeah.
You know, but like, yeah, I mean, I think everyone's to each his own, and it's everyone's experiences. So I don't think it's just at born. But okay, I'm gonna go on my next fact.
Yeah, I'm ready.
My a healthy relationship is based on constant care, communication, and honesty about sex.
Honesty about sex.
Yes. Like
So you can lie about bank receipts and shit as long as you're honest about sex. I need more information.
An honesty and understanding of what each person needs sexually to be healthy because if you're not having a healthy sex life in your relationship, it's not going to happen.
I mean, I agree. I do agree with that. Although, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way. I might be. I don't know. I'm a weird person, so I get it already. But it's not all about sex, because sex, you can like fulfill that anywhere. Like that orgasm feeling, like you can fulfill it by yourself, you can fulfill it with somebody else, you can fulfill it, you know what I'm saying, in the shower. I mean, like seriously, like you can fulfill that feeling anywhere. But when you have a connection, that feeling becomes a different kind of feeling. So I would I feel like connection and communication are more important than a sexual feel, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to communicate for, sex to even feel good.
Now on the other side, I'm completely opposite for you. Sex is sex. Sex has been sex for me since forever. I mean, if it's not there, there's an issue.
So you're going to tell me that when you're in love with somebody, the sex doesn't feel better than when you're not in love?
No.
It's not more passionate, doesn't feel different to you whatsoever?
No.
Okay. We can agree to disagree on that.
It's more, I mean, as long as you have an understanding with that person and you feel comfortable with that person, that's what makes it better. But it doesn't have to be love.
I'm not saying it doesn't have to be love to feel good. No, you can fucking get an orgasm anywhere and just feel like amazing. I'm saying, like, in a relationship, when you're in a relationship, if you guys aren't communicating but you're screwing like bunnies, like, it's going to be like empty opened, empty screwing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to feel like it's fulfilling in that kind of like relationship way. Now, if you're single and you're having sex with like different people, like, hell no, you're not going to like try to be in love with some of the people that you're sleeping with. Like, you're just going to go and get yours and move on. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. But I feel like in a relationship, don't you think communication's more key than sex? Or do you communicate with sex? Because some couples communicate with sex, and I'll get into that too. Like, a lot of couples communicate with sex. They never ever apologize. They never say sorry. I've been in a relationship where, like, if we fought like crazy, we never said sorry. He never said sorry, but we would just bang it out, and then we were like good with each other. Like, and that was like a whole different. But then it's like it's never closed either. So like that's like a whole messed up scenario. That's honestly like a manipulation tactic that people use a lot too, is sex. So, and you see it. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Baby Boy. You ever watched the movie Baby Boy?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when Tyrese's ass goes down on that big ass fight, and then he went down with her like crazy, and she was supposed to just forget about everything? That's some messed up stuff. That's not a good relationship, I don't think.
No, it's not. But I'm telling you, sometimes angry sex is the best sex ever.
I'm not saying that angry sex is not
But
good. What I'm saying is that,
I
yeah,
get it. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, I get how you're saying, like, it's not going to solve your problems. You need to talk about it. I just don't do that anymore.
don't
I
talk about anything.
I try, but it never works.
Yeah, okay. And that's okay. I mean, sometimes timing and when you choose to talk to a man is key too. And I learned that shit the hard way. Okay. So I'll tell you guys all about that. I learned that the hard way. But yeah, so what's your next one? Let's go on to your next one. I kind of like how these
Every
are going.
Okay, every good relationship starts with infatuation. If you are not infatuated with that person in the beginning,
Yeah,
then you're never going to have that level of attraction.
I agree. I agree. You have to think that person's somewhat sexy and be a little infatuated with them. And then what comes after is when they open their mouth and you decide if you're going to continue to be infatuated with them or not.
Oh,
um,
yeah, my prom
yeah,
date.
I agree. Did he
Uh,
open his mouth and you were like, oh my God?
oh my God, we were at dinner and he was I mean, there was other issues with the relationship, but we're at dinner. I'm like, he looks so good. And I was like so attracted. He had this dark skin and these hazel eye or green eyes. It's like, oh, just and this body to die for. And then he talked at the table with everybody else. And I went to Walden, so we did, a big school dinner instead of like a pre-prom. And I looked at him and I go, shh, just don't talk. He got a little mad.
So what's your next one, Missy?
The next one is you are supposed to support and encourage each other.
I agree.
And by
No,
that means with support and encouraging, Michelle said, shh, don't ruin it. Right? The other to support um, and encourage by building somebody up. That if you're not constantly, pushing them to be their best self, they're not going to be their best self.
I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I'll have to say what's really sad, like, so, I talk to a lot of couples, right? Like, I
Yes.
talk to a lot of couples. I talk to a lot of women by themselves. I've talked to like women and men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some women, some married women have had me like talk to their husbands for them and ask them, so like I'd have to say, the really sad part about a lot of relationships is that a lot of significant others become envious and jealous of their significant other, and that comes from a controlled part inside of them. And when it comes to like encouragement, like, first of all, when you get attached emotionally, sometimes I feel like you tend to take criticism from certain people a different way. Like, one person can tell you the same exact way, but then let's say that your boyfriend tells you in a different, like the same exact way, the same thing, you're gonna almost feel butthurt that he told you, or vice versa, your girl told you versus one of your guy friends or someone else. And people have to learn to get out of that realm, because the truth of the matter is that no one should be able to give you constructive criticism more than your significant other. And the reason why I say this is because no one spends more time with you than your significant other, right? Let's read this real quick. When it comes to relationship advice, men give women excellent advice because it's based on an empirical, what is it? Empirical, oh sorry, evidence and truth. I don't know, I disagree with that. I feel like good advice can come from both sexes. It just has to be non-biased. The problem is that women go to their friends for advice often, or they go to a family member, or they go to somebody um who really cares about them in a different way, or somebody who is not even like non-emotionally attached or emotionally put together, and then they go and they give them an emotional response instead of a logical one, when men tend to be more logical than women because we're more emotional. Women give horrible advice because I mean, I agree with that. And it can, but a man can also give horrible advice based on the fact if he wants to hit it or not.
She's a
And that's
woman.
the truth.
Yes and no, not all of us, because I can tell you right now, I don't sabotage at all people, and I don't put emotion in things. I mean, okay, if I'm mad, I'll tell you off. But if I'm giving you, you're my friend and I'm giving you honest advice, I'm not putting any hormones or any jealousy or emotion into it. I'm telling you like it is.
I do
And
have to stop you there. I do think that you do give great advice and that you probably give your friends really good advice, right? But I just have to tell everybody you shouldn't be going to your friends for advice. And that's just the truth. You should
I
never
agree.
ever go you should never ever go to really close friends that aren't like, maybe, okay, maybe if your friend's a counselor, cool. You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't go to like your really, really close friends for advice, because truth is that they're going to give you a response based on their experience and only based on their emotional feeling for how you feel at that time. So
They're
you might not
protecting
do that. And I don't think that you do that, Missy. Because I've talked to you before. I don't think that you
me.
do that. But the truth of the matter is that a majority of people do that. So I do feel like instead of going to advice to your girlfriends, you should very well go to advice of someone else. I mean, even the Bible says seek wise counsel. So contact your pastor, contact um, you know, some type of ministry, or contact a counselor of some sort, a life coach, or something like that, because they will give you non-biased information. But when you give them information, you do talk to somebody for advice, you can't leave out your shit either. A lot of people tend to leave their shit out when they're telling their friends and family and asking them for advice.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I do ask, where it's like, so what did you do? Because
Yeah.
there's always another side of the story, another three. I say there's at least 3 or 4 sides. But so now that we've got hit that and we're at the halfway mark, we're going to talk about why relationships fail. Trust issues is number 1. If a relationship starts in an affair, it will end in an affair. That was one quote that I've heard and that I didn't read. That is a quote I heard somebody say, and it makes so much sense that if you are going to start a relationship that is untruthful, it is going to end because of that untruth.
Well, let me just start right here by saying this. I agree. I do agree with that. And people might not agree with it. And if you don't agree with it, I'm just going to call you in denial. And the reason is because if you have started a relationship through cheating, that man or that woman have seen you. They have seen you learn how to be sneaky. They've watched your sneaky ways. So they've seen how you have sneaked around this guy or snuck around this girl, right? Like how you got away with sleeping with them on your lunch break, or and so when you guys become official and you guys completely start dating and you're at work, you're now being accused of sleeping around on your lunch date. Why? Because that's what you were doing when you were with old boy or when you were with old girl. You were out getting it in on your lunch date. So I would say you consider those relationships rebounds. If you are cheating and you end up breaking up, that's a rebound relationship in which you are never supposed to date your rebound. Okay.
Michelle said, I don't believe that. However, it just means there wasn't the right one. I don't know how much I agree with that. There's also Rosa Garcia, I'm sorry. There's 2 sides to each story. That's why I agree that your spouse gives the best constructive criticism.
We just got to learn how to take it sometimes. Like, we get so mad when our spouses tell us stuff, but truth is, if you have a spouse, even if they don't tell you in the right way all the time, that might be a conversation you can have. If they're like, you know what, you're always doing that, and maybe you can sit down and say, maybe I am always doing that. But maybe if you told me it a little differently, more receptive into understanding. I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to get it together. And they might be like, whoa, shit, okay. And then the next time they tell you a little nicer.
And then Quantum Vortex is watching from the National Los
Hey,
Angeles. Hey. Yeah, I just don't I feel like if you start a relationship in a type of negative way that it's not going to be good. I'm
so
not saying at all times.
trust issues, we're not just born with trust issues, right? Like you don't just wake up and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have fucking trust issues today. Like you just don't do that. You trust issues are because you haven't like let go of baggage of like previous stuff, or someone has given you a reason to be, you know, kind of like on the lookout. Like what have you been up to? You've been, last time I went through your phone, there was this, and this, and we decided to stay together. Now you're doing the same. So trust issues come from that. But I feel like also with communication, that can kind of like curb trust issues. If sometimes you feel like someone feels insecure, and speaking up about how you feel is like really important when it comes to trust issues. I feel like you should have like a code or some way to tell your significant other that something that they are doing is making you feel insecure. You should be able to tell them, like, you know what, I'm just going to be honest with you. I've been freaking out the last 2 days because the way you leave the house this past couple days, the way you've been leaving has made me feel completely insecure. And that other significant other should be, if they care enough about the relationship, they should, instead of being like, what the fuck you always, or just going off in any kind of way, right? They should actually be able to say, okay, I'm sorry if you're feeling insecure. Like this is, I've actually been sneaking around trying to plan your birth date, or I actually, I've just been under a lot of stress. And then that's where communication, I tell you, is so key. And then after that, then you go and you bang it out like how you were talking. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
and then you enjoy it. Like, but yeah, and then trust issues too come from controlling people. So I just have to tell you guys that if you have a lot of trust issues, it's also because you're very controlling and you don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit that you want everything to go your way. Sometimes when you have trust issues and you think that, oh, they're doing something, oh, they're doing that, like you can literally be making shit up in your mind and making yourself miserable. And I say this from personal experience because I was that person. Like I literally was always looking sideways, like, oh, you're doing this now, oh, you're doing that. And don't forget that when you go looking for hurt, you find it. Like it can be something from 10 years ago and you just saw how he commented different to that girl versus how he talks to you, and now you're butt hurt, and now you're going to be in your feelings for 2 days, and now you're going to change the atmosphere of your relationship. And I'm telling you guys this from experience because I was like that controlling person, like, like, well, what are you doing, or what is this, or like, why are you like just let it go. What is done in the dark will come to light. So don't even worry about it. Like, truth be
Yep.
told, like the truth always comes out. So you don't have to go searching for it all the time. You don't have to have those trust issues, because you might have trust issues and nothing's going on. And then you might push that person to cheat because they might be like, what in the hell kind of crazy ass person do I got at home? This person is checking my freaking phone all the time, asking me to drop my location. I can't even go and like just get in the car and run to the store to go grab some damn, toothpaste. And this person's like, why you got to go get toothpaste because it's 7 o'clock at night? And it's like, damn, I want to brush my teeth with some minty stuff, not spearmint. I wanted, regular mint. Like, so just stop. That makes you crazy. Okay, don't be crazy. I was crazy. I'm telling you, from one crazy person to another, don't be crazy.
Okay, number 2 is different expectations. Now, here's the thing I feel personally about that. If you expect something from someone, you will always be let down. If you talk to that person and you make goals, that's a different thing. But if you just expect them to know it without talking to him or her or they or them, then they're going to fail. If you test somebody, they're going to fail because
you shouldn't even expect a man to put the toilet seat down. I don't even know what other kind of
fuck that.
expectations I don't
Oh,
know what
screw
kind
that.
of
I was
expectations you're
chasing
supposed
the
to
boys
have.
with the broom this morning because I fell in the damn toilet.
But that's your kids. I'm talking about a grown ass man. If a grown ass man has never put the toilet seat down in his life, and I'm not saying that this is my problem or my
Then he
experience.
can go to the
I'm just saying,
gas station and go to the bathroom.
yeah, well, the truth is though, is that like you should just like those are talks that you have. You should just never have expectations. The only expectation that I think that you guys should have as adults is the fact that you won't harm each other. That should just be the only expectation that you have going into a relationship. You can't expect anything, and you can't even expect that nowadays because people are freaking psychotic, worse than me.
Number 3, you are moving through life in different speeds. People can get very jealous for one spouse getting a
A
promotion
raise,
and not you.
love to. Yeah, I see it all the time. You know what's sad about that? Truth be told, you know why that is, and I have to agree with that. Let me tell you why women initiate 84%, because we never feel we're wrong. And I have to tell you, ladies, every lady out here, you do wrong shit too. You do. You do wrong shit too. Just because he doesn't cry doesn't mean he's not hurting, y'all. Okay. Just because he doesn't act the way that we act when we're hurt does not mean that he's not hurt by something you said. Just because um just because he's supposed to be this stronghold does not mean he doesn't have feelings. Stop that. I want to hit the phone. Stop being like that.
I'm not admitting to anything.
I admit it. I'm wrong a lot.
No,
I am wrong a lot.
I say when I'm wrong. I don't have a problem
I
admitting
mean,
myself.
true, but sometimes I don't think that we identify where we kicked shit off. Sometimes we feel like we kick shit off because it was rightfully to do, when a lot of times it's really not. So we're like, oh, well, we did this because he did that, and like we just, for real, like truth be told, if you take a second when you're about to blow, right? Like if you're really about to blow, and I talk to Missy about this all the time because I have moments sometimes where I'm like, you know what? Like, but you know what? I back up and I'm like, let me think about this.
You're right.
Let me. Thank you. But let me think about this, because we tend to react emotionally. Like we are emotional creatures. That's just who we are. We're emotional. We cry. We love each other. We are the backbone of a household because of the fact that we're emotional, and we bring the love, and we teach our sons to be loving, and we teach our daughters how to be women and beautiful, and our sons to be, beautiful, loving men, right? Like, so we do everything out of emotion. Yeah, we're good with multitasking. We're good with learning how to like make coffee, turn off the lights, write down a grocery list, jump in the car. But men are very logical thinkers. So when we hit arguments with them, they're like, okay, she did A, so I think that I should do B. We are more like, okay, well, he did A, so I'm going to jump the fuck to C. And then after C, I'm going to go ahead and jump all the way to Z. And before he knows it, and that's where it's like completely different. So that's why we really have to get a grasp on, sometimes timing's everything. And like we kick shit off at the wrong time. I am still learning that to date. Like with everything, once you start learning that timing is everything, like you become such this powerful woman where a lot of people are like, you should address that. You should do this. And I'm like, no, we're going to wait on it for a minute. And everybody's like, what? Like, yeah, no, it's okay. We're gonna wait on it, and
I'm
it just
totally not like that.
it'll benefit you in so many ways. I promise
Just
you.
like that idea that we were just talking about. And I was like, all right, let's go. Come on.
I know.
I haven't heard anything since.
Like, wait a minute. Wait. I'm over here pushing the brakes. So I agree. Women probably initiate the most divorces, and that's probably because of the fact that they're emotionally driven, and it's kind of sad because um I feel like there's always ways to work on things, like, and until you get to the end, yeah, relationships end, and people move at different speeds. And I don't want to like talk this over, but I do agree that people move at different speeds. But that is when you are supposed to pull your hand out and grab your spouse and say, come on, we're doing this together, baby. I got this promotion because you helped me. I got this promotion because you woke up and you made me breakfast every morning. You know what? I couldn't have done this without you. Like, just giving the credit where I think the credit needs to be due sometimes can also make your significant other not feel so jealous and feel like a part of you.
Husband needs way too long to decide anything.
That's because he's probably an overthinker. He probably thoroughly thinks things over and over and over and over.
Okay, so the fourth one, we're gonna have to go a little faster because
Okay.
we have 15 minutes. Are compatibility issues. What they're talking about now is what the needs are from one person compared to the other. One person could go once a month with sex. The other one needs it 3 times a week. And those are the type of things that they fight over and get a divorce over.
I don't feel like I can't say any. I don't feel like many people's libidos match. One person might not need sex that much, and one person might need sex a lot. That is why they have created sex toys and vibrators. Ladies, if your man doesn't want sex as much as you go get a little bullet. Go get a bullet. Enjoy yourself. They sell them at Walmart for like $19. Don't ask me why. I know that.
Watch our last week's show and contact
Yes.
Nicole Villarreal. Otherwise, there's this shop in Milwaukee called the Tool Shed, and it has the best sex toys around.
Wait, but let me just make it easy. When you're grocery shopping, go walk through the aisle at Walmart. Okay, they got shit you can stick right up and just enjoy it. What? Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Yes. What aisle is that? What aisle have you been in?
Go look in the condom aisle at Walmart. Okay, don't ask me why I know this. I'm just telling you because I read things. Okay, now, guys, that's why they have full blown like real life things for men. Okay, so that shouldn't even be an issue. Like, truth be told, if your significant other, if you've had a talk with them and they're like, you know what, I'm just not really in the mood. Okay, I love you because I love you without sex. That's why communication is key. That's why you have to care about each other about different things and other than sex, because then like, you know what, they don't want to have sex. I'll be back in 45 minutes, babe. I love you. Keep the dinner hot.
I can't do it.
That's all I'm saying is like, you know what I'm saying? Just give a little, okay? You don't want to do that? Don't get mad when my Amazon packages start
coming in. Like, communication issues is another where you've already talked about. You have to talk to each other. You have to be open. Narcissism issues where you feel you are the most important issue or your significant other is the most important thing on this earth, and everyone should just, the life and the world moves around you.
Well, first of all, when you do talk with a narcissist, right? Like narcissist, I feel like everybody has a little part of them that is a little narcissist, because a lot of us care about ourselves. We care about, how we feel about things, especially after being in like really messed up relationships. And then you go into another relationship and you experience something bad. And then finally, now you're in this relationship and now you're like, well, I didn't do bad because I know I didn't do this. I didn't do bad because I know I didn't do this, but not really necessarily taking into consideration that these 3 different people are all 3 different men or women. You know what I mean? So everybody feels differently. That's the whole reason they made that like love language. So I feel like when it comes to like narcissism, sometimes there are like really full-blown narcissistic people, right? Like full-blown. But even some narcissistic people, though, still have a soft spot for something. So when you talk to them, sometimes that's how you kind of pull that out of them, because you're like, hey, well, how would you feel about this? And then that's when you kind of like ding, 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 a light bulb goes off in that narcissistic's brain, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, shit, I don't think I wouldn't like that too much. So that's just an easy way to deal with a narcissist.
And then the other one is self-explanatory relationship abuse, physical, mental, emotional. I don't even want a topic on that. That's a whole different show.
So when people say like emotional abuse, like I feel like I feel like everyone's in somewhat of an emotional abuse relationship, because if you've never in your mind, or even like to that person, called them an effing a-hole or an effing b, like if you've literally said that to them, like, this, you're a fucking asshole. You literally just
I think,
created or just did emotional abuse. You know
okay,
what I'm saying?
wait. Let's hold on. There's a difference between getting into an argument and it getting nasty,
Yeah,
come in both ways, than somebody who is emotionally abused every day, every
I
second
do agree with that.
in the relationship.
I do agree with that. But that is where in the beginning you have to look past all the glitz and glamour, and you have to actually pay attention to some red flags. I think a huge part of bad relationships comes when you stop paying attention to the characteristics of people. If you actually sat back, and this is why I love sociology, if you actually sit back and you compare me, like, I want you to take this, just take me, take two of your other friends, and compare all of our characteristical traits and see where we fall in line with good ones and bad ones. You can actually kind of defer bad people away. Like, you can kind of be like, that's like, that red flag is an absolute no, because that usually comes with this. And it usually does, so in
Right.
the beginning, paying attention to some of those red flags, I think, are like super key.
I would have to agree with you on that. I mean, you definitely see signs
Yeah.
before you even get into a relationship. And
Yeah, like if you get into a relationship and all of a sudden he gets mad at the video game and breaks the fucking TV, run. Run.
yeah, if she gets mad because you're on the video game and she throws it out the door and starts hitting it with the bat.
Run.
Door. Oh, outside, lock the door. Don't let her back in. Okay, so addiction, anything that's a habit abuse that they have. Then grown apart, where like empty nest syndrome is a big one. Oh, Ron. He did too.
Run, I swear. Run.
Um, growing apart, entering nest syndrome, staleness,
First
run.
of all, you only grow apart when you want to allow it to grow apart. Like, you can literally, so if you think about it, yeah, because you can still stay really good friends. Like, growing apart, you might lose a
Right.
connection with one another, but I feel like if you're still close enough, like, I feel like when they say growing apart, it's like people who just don't even speak anymore.
No, that's not
Like,
true. Like there can be, I know people that have grown apart that that they were great friends, but they just weren't in love anymore. In one
so
example,
do you think that they put the right effort in to fall in love again?
um, no, because in this case,
No, I have
she
to say
okay,
why I said that. Now, why I said that is a wise woman, and by the wise woman, I say my grandmother. They were married until my grandma died, right? And I used to always ask her, like, how have you and grandpa been married? Like, y'all met at a dance party, and then, like, 2 days later, y'all were like shotgun wedding because he brought you home after 10 p.m. So, how in the hell did this work, right? Like, and she used to always say, Miha, we fall in and out of love all the time. It's the point of putting in the same work when you know that you're starting to fall out of love, because every relationship you're going to fall out of love. So if you just leave every time the in love part feels bad, or if you just leave every time that you feel like you are growing apart, then what kind of work are you actually putting in to, like, make this relationship last, to be a till death do you part type of relationship? Like, you can't just assume that everything's just going to go so smoothly. Like, you legit have to put in that work. So you have to say, you know what, let's redate. You know what, we're falling out of love. I feel like we're both falling out of love. I don't feel in love with you anymore, neither do I. You know what, well, you know why? We're gonna redate. You know what, we're gonna redo this. I don't even know you anymore. I don't know you, so we're gonna redate. Let's get to know you. And you start trying to do different things to fall in love again. And then, of course, if for some reason nothing ever happens, then okay, let it go. But if you haven't even put the work in, my grandma flat out told me, she's like, I've fallen out of love with your grandpa like 7 times. And I'm like, really? Well, what did he do? And she's like, he took me dancing. And I was like, I was like, he took you dancing? And she was like, yeah, the first time he took me dancing. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, what did he do the second time? And she's like, the second time he sat me down, he told me, look, Chola, so my grandma told her, I know that you don't love me anymore, but you loved me before. He's like, so I'm gonna make you love me again. And he started doing things for her. Like he started like, you know, cooking and doing like just all these different things. And eventually that feeling like when you're watching this man that you loved for a few years and now he's like, man, he's putting all that work in, you can definitely fall right back in love. It's not hard when you start seeing that work get put in there.
I agree. I think though sometimes
Sometimes it's cool to snip and let it go, you know, but
I mean, my grandmother was married for 70 years.
whew.
Yeah. And like I will tell you at my wedding that the priest asked the congregation what was important to the marriage. And somebody said, oh God. He's like, no, you're wrong. Oh, geez, your love of the church. He's like, oh, no, you're wrong. Then he goes to somebody and he goes, how long have you been married? She goes, I've been divorced for 9 years. And she goes, oh, no. He goes, no, somebody else. My grandmother, who is 80, said, patience, go to the bathroom or have a shot, because I would have killed this man 1,000,000 times by now. I didn't go to the bathroom or have a shot.
It is true. You have to, and that's why they say love is patient, love is kind. You have to be kind too. Even when you don't want to be on your worst days, you have to be kind. Because it goes a long ways to be kind. My grandma she said some of that stuff too. Don't get me wrong. She didn't say that she wasn't patient, but she said you have to be patient, you had to be kind. But she also said that when you fight with love, which means you don't use hate words when you fight. Like you fight for the reason that you're fighting for. And she also told me to never stop touching. She's like, once you stop touching, you leave room for a lot of things. Don't go to bed angry. Don't stop touching. Even if you are upset with each other, you hug, you kiss, and you still go to bed, because it creates a routine of love. You know, you have to create routines of love all of the time if you want to be in love.
And the last one is money issues.
Now that I can't help you with. Let me tell you, if get separate bank accounts, try everything that you can. I feel like if your shit is just not together where you guys know like these are priority things and then we can spend whatever, then then you need to get separate bank accounts, and you'll always fight about money. I feel like it's always important to not fight about money because money is where the root of all evil stems from.
Yes. Yeah. I don't even want to touch on that subject because get financial counseling. What you got to do. Get separate bank accounts.
Yeah. And when you give a little bit, comes and goes. Some people are so hard up, like money comes and goes. Your spouse might make a purchase that you absolutely hate, right? But if it made them happy and you know that you can get that money back and you're not being evicted and you're not having your lights turned off or whatever, and it's not something that's like a repetitive thing, and maybe they make little purchases here and there, but then they made one large one, like I feel like sometimes there's a lot of stuff you can pick and choose on what to battle on.
I think there should be a limit of, if you're with your spouse, on what you can spend without talking to them.
I mean, if you have communication, then you talk about a lot of things. You call when you're at the store and you're like, hey, these vitamins are like 30. Does that sound like too much money? Like, oh yeah, that's too much money. What are you thinking? Like, oh yeah, you're right. I could probably go get these on Amazon for 15. It's all about communication too. Like, so, and stop being controlling. First of all, I have to say this before we let everything go. Stop trying to control your significant others, you guys. I feel like that's a huge thing. They didn't put that in there. And I feel like that's a huge thing. Let them go out if they want to go out. Let them start a new job if they want to start a new job. Let them have a day off if they want to have a day off. Let them, like you are with that person to be their partner, not to be their controlling significant other, because they will cheat on you. they will leave you. They will not be happy. They will be miserable. So make sure that you're, not being so controlling. Don't try to control everything. And plus, it's just going to drive you crazy. And you become this crazy, codependent, crazy, controlling person, and nobody's going to like you. So stop trying to control everything.
Agree. Big purchases are a mutual decision.
Yeah, I agree. Big purchases should be like, hey, I just bought a jet yesterday. Like, what the hell? We didn't even have money for a jet. Where'd you get that from?
My makeup would probably be considered a big purchase.
Makeup is expensive though. So, I mean, it depends on what you're doing.
But,
Okay, so BoxyCharm, like I had BoxyCharm or whatever the hell it's called.
yes,
That's
I have it.
$25. That's $25 a month. Cool. I mean, you're not buying makeup every day. If you're buying makeup every day, then it's like, whoa, wait a second. But if you go and you spend like $50, $100 and you get a whole group of makeup and then you're good for like a month and a half, 2 months, okay. That's not, that should be something
I
that
do the basic, the premium, and the luxury. But I
you're
enjoy
so
my
funny.
makeup. But I enjoy
And makeup, but that's your hobby. If that is your hobby, then that might be a conversation that you have. Just like, men have different hobbies. Like for a while, my hobby was purchasing a lot of makeup too. Like I was purchasing so much makeup, and it wasn't even because I was wearing it a lot. I just like love to have it, right? And it's just I knew when I could and I knew when I couldn't. And I feel like that's just kind of where that even line goes. Like, okay, you know what? Money's a little tight this month. I won't do it this month. But next month, watch out for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's my thing. It's my girl thing with a house full of boys.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
So
Well,
we actually had a really great show, I think.
We did. I'm coming back on. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
It has to turn off like every 20 minutes, I think, or half hour, the new camera.
Oh, does it? I'll like restart.
Yeah. I want to thank everyone, and we want to thank everyone for being on. I really want to thank everyone that commented, and I love to see that the quantum vortex energy was watching us on YouTube. So
yeah, tell us
that's
how our makeup looks. We were talking about makeup.
And I can't wait to be on next week. Next week's show is actually a makeup tutorial. So we're gonna have a couple makeup artists on. I don't remember who else is coming on.
A facial, someone to tell us how to skincare routine.
If there's anything that you guys want to see done, like a technique or something, please let us know so we can incorporate it in the show.
For sure.
And I think I got it. I was wondering if I wasn't seeing those comments.
Make sure you like, comment, and share our pages. Please go to Life Uncensored's page and like it and share it as well as Let's Talk. Go on there, like it, and share it as well.
Yes. And we would love to get some ideas of some shows that you guys would like to talk about. It would be great to get some input on that, good, bad. You can message us on there. If you'd like to be on the show for a subject, please give us a call. My phone number is on there. So I'm going to call it a night. It's 10:05, and I'm sure everyone wants to go to bed. Have a great night. Thanks for watching us, guys.
Bye.